Hi everyone and welcome to the Shady Designs podcast. This is a really exciting moment for me and for us here at Shady Designs. We've been around since August of 2008 and decided to launch this podcast because a lot of people over the years have been asking us, how did we start this business and what's the story behind it? We've decided to get into the podcast because we've done a really successful series of videos, which you might have seen on the blog and on YouTube. And this is another way that we can kind of get to you and give you our thoughts on how we think decorating should be. And to really wind the clock back, to go back to the beginning, to see what the vision was that Lisa and I founded together and created and built, and just saw us through these fantastic years of creating inspiring designs for Australian homes. Recently, we've decided to bring on a new project which involves us putting together photos of us over the years. So that's us as a family and us as a working family here at Shady Designs. We've put together a collage, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to kind of talk about how it all started and really what inspires us and how we, over the next few years, will begin to launch and create some beautiful, beautiful things for the rest of Australia to enjoy. The reason why we started Shady Designs almost 6 years ago was after Lisa and I had moved in, and a young couple moving into a place together looked around and thought, how are we going to decorate our new life together? And I will admit, Lisa and I moved in together after only dating for 6 months. It was quite a shock. That's how the world turned out. That's how life panned out for us. But we jumped into it. We were quite fond of each other and decided to move in. But there was one question: we both had quite powerful ideas on how we should decorate the space, and still to this day we grapple with that idea. But the one question that Lisa had was lampshades. She's got such a beautiful fabric collection of vintage materials, from the Florence Broadhursts all the way up to things that we just rummaged around all the local markets, hunting through boxes and boxes, trying to find that beautiful piece of fabric. We had them tucked away and just wanted some beautiful lampshades to make, and we had to literally invent it because out there was no service that really did justice to bringing fabrics to life, how to make a room come together. And we were moving around quite a lot, and we noticed that our lamps were the real key feature of the rooms, the lamps and the cushions. Lisa had sought after Australia's best lampshade makers and was taught by a combined age of at least 130 years of experience. So learning from the best, she managed to come up with her own unique way of making a lampshade. Her own unique way, because our design is literally the same way that lampshades were made 70 years ago, and that is why we give a lifetime guarantee. But we really love how when you flick the switch, the fabric and the light really makes a room transform. The pregnant at the time Lisa had a growing stock of clients that just found out through the grapevine, and automatically she was too busy to be concerned about being pregnant and going to mothers groups and talking about boring things like bugaboo baby prams. She just immersed herself in hours and hours of completing orders and challenging herself to creating some beautiful, beautiful things for people, which quickly outgrew our little situation in the garage. And then we moved into a larger space closer to where all our clients were, which was Surrey Hills in Sydney here. So Surrey Hills, if you're not from Sydney, is quite close to the city, and that's where most of the architect clients were trying to meet with us. and our little terrace was converted into a full-time working studio with two young children, toddlers really, crawling around, and a hive of clients popping in and popping out, and architects showing us their diagrams and drawings. Well, they literally had to come to us because we had the kids. And you know, if they accidentally knocked on the door next door, they quickly discovered it was a brothel. How embarrassing! But it was good fun being in town. And as with the fashion of lampshades at the moment, I'm feeling that people's houses are getting bigger. We quickly outgrew the space because people were demanding larger sizes and larger quantities. Lisa also had to service quite a few retail stores that had found out about us, and also we grew a few joint ventures with some real key players like Porter's Paints, and we had some collaborations with local fabric designers who came to us looking for new applications for their prints. And now we boast one of Australia's largest collections of Australian designer fabrics, and we love promoting those Australian designs. So handmade with love, using Australian prints was something that we just love to take to market. And we went out and did the designer festivals and brought the kids along with us. And it's great to see our lampshades on, you know, in the magazines, and we've been having a lot of lampshades on television, and even the kids show giggle and hoot when the children watch that show and point at the lampshades to their friends saying, you know, my mummy made that. But a really fantastic effort between myself and Lisa and our growing team and all the guys that have supported us over the years, our family and our babysitters who turned into lampshade makers, who turned into sales staff, who turned into what I regard as the best lampshade design team in Australia ever known. Let's put it simply. The home of where you can simply get a designer fabric in your style of print in a size that suits your taste and your budget, and we'll put it together and just watch how, you know, that will really revolutionize how you live your life. One of the things that I noticed when I went over I was invited to a friend's party one evening, and they were celebrating a sort of move-in party. So they had this loft kind of apartment here in Surrey Hills again. And we had a lot of friends over during the daytime, and then it sort of swanned into the evening. And because they'd just moved in, a lot of people were sort of going at about 7 o'clock. The night was pretty young, and I thought, there's a lot of people here, and people are just leaving. And I rummaged through their boxes and said, look, where are your lamps? I rummaged all around through their boxes, found two little lamps, put them in the side of one in their open plan kitchen and one in the corner of the living space. Turned those two little lamps on, turned off the overhead lights, and then everyone in the party just sighed with relief. It was unanimous. Everyone kind of just went, oh, that's so much better, and just had a chance to relax. And I realized then how powerful setting the mood is in a house. So switching off those overhead lights, turning on a couple of side lamps, and really getting to enjoy other people's company, and not having to sort of feel the strain of bright lights on. And I really knew there was some sort of magic in turning on lamps. And Lisa's Scandinavian background also is quite used to the idea of only having side lamps over there in Europe. They don't ever use overhead lighting. And another force that I really hate is the overuse of the downlights. I know it's convenient these days with the low ceilings, because that's going to save the builders money, and then just sticking a few downlights here and there. But just casting light downwards over your face is not flattering. It's not comfortable. It's not the way to live. And having the side lamps on as an alternative to that is just a really gorgeous way of enjoying the evenings with people that you love and your family. And I also love how there are some beautiful lamp designs out there that you can pick and choose. You might have something that grandma handed down to you, or you might have a piece that you had custom made. We've certainly created lamp-based designs here locally, and often get them imported from overseas as well, whether they're vintage or new designs. But I love how you can get an old lamp, put a new lampshade on it, and then instantly it's a new thing. It's a new life that you can get to enjoy. One of my favourite lamps that I've got upstairs is actually Lisa's first ever lampshade that she ever made, and she always threatens to throw it away. And maybe I'm just sentimental, but I've kept it, and I'm not probably gonna ever throw it away. If I want to keep it for safekeeping, I'd probably give it to my dad to hold on, because he's a hoarder. Maybe that's where I get it from as well. But it's still alive. It's still a beautiful fabric. It's just a little vintage piece of fabric, and it's on a really rustic ceramic base that I just couldn't stand to throw away. And I was wondering to myself, how did we fall into this business? So Lisa, with her hospitality and creative background coming from her family, her dad's a doctor, and her mum's a real creative Scandinavian lady, and my dad working in factories here in Australia. My dad's from Indonesia. He's from Jakarta, his family mainly, and my mum's from Sumatra, and they both met in Wollongong, of all places. That I look back at my own family, and I realised that my mum had told me a story that I've probably forgotten, but my little daughter had asked her, what were you and grandma doing over in Indonesia when you were young? And she reminded me and my daughter that when she was growing up as a 6-7-year-old, and she had 9 other siblings, in her family, but they were the local kerosene merchants. My grandma and grandpa had these huge vats, these huge sort of storage units in the backyard, down in the far corner of the backyard. And my mum used to describe the smell of kerosene on the dripping grass, and as you walked over to scoop the kerosene, you could only smell it coming, sort of oozing out of the ground, and their close neighbours close to the fence would scoop the kerosene off their grass, because the kerosene would ooze over to the other side, and they'd score free lighting. But then I realised that my daughter would be a 4th generation lighting supplier, and I quite like the romance of that story and that idea. So looking forward into the future, we keep on developing fantastic ideas, designs, and holding on to our friendships and clients that have kept on coming back to us year after year. And we just wanted to say thanks to all of our friends, family and supporters. And I hope you enjoyed this story of how we started Shady Designs. And we look forward to bringing you more stories in the years and weeks to come. I'm Riff from shadydesigns.com.au. If you want more info on how you can decorate your space with beautiful fabrics, beautiful lamp designs and beautiful cushions, jump on our blog on our website, or give us a call on 02 8065 4658. I'm Arif from Shady Designs. Thanks for listening.